Hello one for a new build guide. So we ended up ditching the totem build just because of survivability. I know I could have probably got the cluster jewel going and all that, but it's still probably not the ultimate problem. So this is sort of the next build I'm going with. So we end up going with the Hexblast and Night build that was pretty much been going around in this league. Due to its super tankiness version, which is pretty much I am a lot of levels away though. So this is a battle mage, pretty much. Templar, we want to call it pretty much. So the build, you go, we'll start this way actually, set the gear first. Map showcase at the end of the video. Pretty much battle mage is very good for the build because of your weapon. Because if battle mage makes it so that we can run a high lightning damage weapon, you want flat though. So pretty much the A2 209 elemental damage with battle mage gets converted to fizz damage. So it pretty much gives you a massive damage boost is why you run it pretty much. And then you know, your nearby enemies take more damage with less and they deal less damage, so more survivability on your end. And then also the concentrated ground combo is pretty much so they take more damage, and also the second version gives you pretty much elemental immunity. So it pretty much it's a survivability thing. And pretty much if you're leveling, go for battle mage first, and then after that it's just up to you which order you want to go in between the three. Because once you get battle mage, your damage skyrockets just by the highest fizz damage weapon you can find. It'll make your life a lot easier. Don't do what I did, and this I thought it'd be pretty fun to try to level with Hollow Palm as a Templar, and it was the absolute worst leveling I've ever done with a Hollow Palm build. Templar is the worst for Hollow Palm just because your only dex node is like here and there. And if you have to scale up to like up here, and that's pretty much all you have with Templar. Like I end up having to go down here, get all the life and depth techs here, the whole life node, scale all the way over here just for some leech. It was absolute horrible. I should have leveled as this build as beginning. It probably made my life a whole lot nicer. I thought it'd just be fun. Just don't do the way I did. So pretty much the skill tree, it's pretty much a max block is what you're playing. So pretty much I leveled actually going this way first just because like this or going up this way and down here just for the damage. And I ended up respecting just when I got to 72 I put the gear on. But pretty much you look at it, it's, you know, more damage, strength, intelligence. And dex is going to be your biggest problem with the build as a heads up. That's why I have the dex node up here. Like life, armor. Armor stacking is what this build is all about, pretty much. So life, armor, damage, block chance. Block chance due to this, pretty much. More life, strength, life. This one we would take, but this is more like a level 100 version, a higher level. Blue Nightmare is pretty much so that you get the extra 4% block chance from here. It's pretty much all it really does. Glancing Blow, just to make it, to give you double block, just helps you get to max block. Because without this, you'll never hit max block with the build. Your whole block cluster here for more block chance. Down here for more massive, more life and reduced mana cost of skills. Because your Hexblast already costs you 48 and your flammability costs you 37 already. So it does help reduce the mana. And like this way over here, we have the Dorianis just for Corrupted Soul. Since we have a lot of Chaos Res. So we're saying about like 49% Chaos Res with this build. And that's not what the cluster's in. So that's why we take this for more ES to get to almost 2,000. And then like your normal life point here. Cluster Jewel. So right now I only have one Cluster Jewel, and that's why I'm missing a massive amount of damage, because the second Cluster Jewel is all my damage for the build. So the first Cluster Jewel, it's pretty much a Prismatic Heart and Burning Bright, because Burning Bright is where all your damage comes from, and all my Burning Brights are on my other on the 3 Burning Brights I'm missing are due because they're on the other skill cluster tree. But pretty much like this one's a Burning Bright, Prismatic Heart, and Widespread Destruction just to take these two. Just to save the 2 points. And like over here we have a Blowback and Burning Bright for more damage. and just to make their knights of damage. You can definitely change this up. Instead of doing blowback, you could easily go with like wasting affliction for more damage. If you can find this there. And I guess it's a normal jewel. So pretty much, and then the other one, I'll show this first. The other one I'm using is a spike conduction and a peak Valgar. You don't have to run this setup at all. You could easily just run more burning brights instead for more damage. I'm running this setup mainly just because spike connection is actually really good. Just because whenever you use whenever you pretty much have a flask active, which is pretty much your enduring flask, just because this is probably the most active one you're gonna have, it gives you recharges to all the other flasks. So it helps your Cinderella flask get back up right away. Because Cinderella flask in this build gives you more ignite damage. And then pretty much the jewel slot, the jewels like these two, this one, and then the other two clusters are pretty much all percent armor, percent life, and ideal will be burning damage and fire damage together, but those don't exist this league without harvest. So maybe later in the league they will. But for now, it's pretty much either just go armor and life and then choose between burning damage or fire damage. Fire damage over time is better for the build, but it costs a lot more than burning damage. So that's why I have 3 burning damages and I have 1 fire damage just because of price-wise. I think these start at 2x plus for fire, and burning's like 1x under. I think I picked up these for like 30 chaos, and this one's like, I think 40 chaos when I bought it, but now they're expensive. And pretty much up this way, like you have your reduced mana that you do need for the build, chaos resistance, massive damage boost right here for Ignite to deal more faster. You pretty much, this gives you also your 100% chance to ignite, which is really good. The cluster jewel I'm working on. Take either one of the 2 dex nodes if you need dex. If you have dex on the clusters, like that's why I'm trying to keep prefix, reroll suffix so I get dex on them or chaos res. But for now, like I'm taking this as a placeholder. Like your life chunk here, another jewel slot. Elemental equilibrium. So you run this one because the way that you pretty much set up your Hexblast is that it deals, like mine deals fizz, lightning, and chaos, but no fire. The fact that we have this on makes it so whenever we hit something with Hexblast, they get, it gives them more resistance to lightning and chaos, but it gives them less to fire. So that's why we hit them with another fire damage on top of flammability. They pretty much lose all their fire resistance. And then equilibrium, because we don't crit with the build, it gives us more damage. And like this is the cluster jewel you would get later. I would get next. Doomsday, it's by far probably, it helps your build. So without Doomsday, your curses take a long time to activate. You're gonna sit there and run in circles, wait for them to go, and then Hexblast them. Doomsday makes it cuts all of that so that pretty much you cast your thing 1 second later, pop them. It's quality of life overall. I recommend Doomsday no matter what. Like this way, life, resistance, massive damage boost right here. And like this way, this is optional. You don't have to take this if you don't want to, but Intuitive Leap is nice just because you can grab your block spell, which you do want, more mana, more spell damage for every mana you spend, but it's more of just for more mana. So you can level up your gems faster. But like I can definitely probably go take away this and start grabbing like, 2% more block here because we have Glancing Blow. That's actually 4% spell block. And Intuitive Leap is my Corrupted Blood spot. If you don't have Corrupted Blood here, just try to get it somewhere under gear so you can skip the whole Intuitive Leap step and save yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can save 6 skill points by cutting Intuitive Leap out and put on the Cluster Jewel faster, which I might try, but Intuitive Leap, I need a Corrupted Blood. But like, you also have 10% increase the effect of your curses, and all your dexes have more Doom on top of it. Because more Doom, more damage. But like if you didn't want that, you can probably go maybe something with block on it. Yeah, like you have, like you don't do staff though, so you can't really take this half. So that's why in this section, you're pretty much like dual wield we don't dual wield. Dual wield, we don't do. It's like your only block option really is right here. And with this build, I'm at set max attack block, and I'm only at 60% spell block. So like taking this one right here would give me 64% spell block, which would be really good. And also, whenever you have temp chains, like this where another 3% or 4% actually spell block comes from. So whenever we use the skill, okay, we stay at 60. I think it's just a gem actually itself. It works when, oh yeah, chains, hold on. There we go. So now we're at 68 because of that. And if we had the other thing on top of that, we would be at 72% spell block. So I might end up actually taking this node later, depending on how our tree looks when we get to higher level. I think that's everything. Like the cluster drill I'm working on now, because without this, I have no damage. So let's go over the fun part. So I'm gonna say right away, the gear for this build is very expensive. You're probably looking around, if you want something like this, you're probably looking around 50 plus exalts, just a heads up. Are there other options to go with? Yes, there is, which I'll explain too. So the weapon, I actually self-crafted this weapon. It cost me about 300 chaos though, just in essence slamming. So what I did with it is I put a 30% quality. You can either buy Opal or Void. They both had a 40% more damage. I went with Opal because it was 1 chaos on the market for item level 86. So why not? And then pretty much, I pretty much kept hitting with Shrieking Essence of Wrath because these are a lot cheaper than Deafening. And every time you hit with one of these, it gives you that nice 7 to 17 damage plus 198 to 224 lightning damage automatically on it. And then on top of that, I kept doing it until I hit fire damage over time. Because fire damage over time multiplier is extremely rare to see. I saw burning damage a lot. I saw fire damage one time only. And that was over, maybe slamming over 100 of these. And I got real lucky on this one that I had fire damage and burning damage on top of it. Ideally, I would love to get rid of that mana, but I can't. So if you don't have burning damage, what you can do, and if you have open suffixes also, is you can hit it with an Azelane, like fill your, and try to get the trigger socketed reduced by 4 seconds, which I'm trying to do. But if you don't have that, you can multi-mod it, put socketed spells, deal more damage. And if you don't have burning damage, I might not have it unlocked, to be honest, but there is something for burning damage in here. Oh no, this one. So like you can actually put this on it too. Like increase fire damage and chance to ignite was really good for it. I believe I don't have the actual one though. Let me see if I can find real fast. Maybe it is that one actually. So it is probably that one actually then. Because like more ignite means faster damage. Hold on. Shit. Stay. Okay. And then pretty much in the shield, this is because I have these socketed spells deal more damage. But I'm running Wave of Conviction to make it so they take more fire damage. Divergent Temp Shield. This is extremely expensive. Just for the pretty much I'm running this just for the block chance. If you don't want to spend 2 to 3 exalts, I recommend just going Temp Shield base and just using that. And then I'm using Void Spear. Anonymous is really just to reduce the skill effect duration and cooldown recovery, but you can actually just run regular if you want to save some money. And pretty much this is my socketed in this order because it triggers Wave of Conviction first, then it triggers Temp Shield, then it triggers Void Spear. Because it goes whenever order your gems are in. So the helmet, we're using the same helmet we did on the totem build. The Virgil is pretty much there because with the double magic rain, it gives you pretty much enemies hitting you are unlucky. You are automatically hexproof, so it makes mapping really nice with no temp chains. And also it makes it so you take no extra damage from crit strikes. So you don't need that burning damage on here. This was the only one in the market when I bought it. I'm pretty sure it might still be. Yeah. This is the only one I've seen all league so far. But you don't need that burning damage. If you don't get burning damage, just get the +2 socketed gems, and yours can actually be really good. And then you can probably try to hit something from the lab for if there's anything for Hexblast, stuff like that. Even Temp Shield, whatever. Just for more quality. I found this for 1x on the market, so I just bought it when it appeared. But pretty much, that helmet makes so when you run Enhanced level 4, it bumps mine to level 5. If you have +2 helmet, you put to level 6 for a lot more percent quality. Because the quality gets pushed all onto flammability. And you do want to run anonymous flammability just because it gives you all that max doom. And then when you calculate that on top of Enhance, it's a 32% more quality on top of the normal 20. So you're running 52% quality. So without this on there, you can see we only have a curse afflicted by this doom, have 5% max doom. With this on there, you have now 13. So it's more doom on top of everything. And the fact that we're running doom, the +10 there, +13 here, it's a lot of doom, and doom equals damage. Anonymous flammability, this is for bossing. So whenever I get to a boss, I hit him with flammability, and then I'll hit him with doom, or doom blast. So it's mainly your bosser. Or if you see rares with a crappy amount of damage, so I don't have the cluster in, it helps me with rares. And then you're running your anonymous AoE and Inspire Divergent. You can definitely just get regular Inspiration, regular AoE for now, and then update later. Like Aegis, this is pretty much where a lot of your defensive layer comes in from. So this gives you more armor, more yes, all res, maximum cold res to put you to 80, block chance, replenish energy shield by armor when you block. And then with this build, since we have like 7,000, we get roughly, this is without all this stuff in yet, 0.0, is it 2%? Yeah. So 0.02. So every time we block, we get 150 pretty much ES back. So it's survivability. That's why you want to run mass block with, and more armor. And then more damage. And then the shield is just in line level 4. Divergent Malevolence, just because this gives you more damage pretty much over time. And then Divergent, Determination, just regular. Just go for level 21 for more armor. And then Enlighten, if you don't camp at level 4, level 3 will work. Just don't level up your Vitality gem too high. That will save you. Shit. Pretty much, we are running Solaris just because with Whispers of Doom. So pretty much Solaris is really nice because it gives us all attributes that we do need, a lot of life, and it also gives us temp chains. Has a so pretty much temp chains cost no mana if we use an aura, and our temp chains is connected to blasphemy support, so that it's pretty much always on us. So whenever we get close to an enemy, which I can show you in the map. Whenever I get close to an enemy, it automatically curses them, so I can just hit him with a Hex Blast right away, and it starts going like that. And like on the bosses, that's where you run the Whispers of Doom, because on bosses, it lets you pretty much put your flammability on the boss, and then hit him with Hex Blast for more damage. Because if you don't self-cast the flammability, you definitely do lose damage out. The fact that you're not getting extra like 400% more damage because you're not self-casting. And then Whispers of Doom is the recommended to go for. These are actually super cheap this league. With Whispers of Doom, I got this for 1x. And because it's probably less now because the fact that golden oil is a lot less than when I bought this for. Chest piece, Skin of Loyal is probably the best in slot. Just because it gives you so much global defense. And the fact we're a defense stacking build, it gives you a massive amount of defensive layers. This pretty much. And also +1 gem level is really nice. Like ideally, like a future upgrade is like to upgrade this with more, with like a corrupted version with like plus gem levels, max res, stuff like that. But that's very expensive. And then pretty much we're running Divergent Hexblast. You do not need to go Divergent if you don't have the currency. Divergent is pretty much is around like usually 3 to 5x. I got this for 2x, so I just bought it. But regular Hexblast will work. You're running Divergent just because it's more damage and increases the effect of pretty much your burn stuff. And then like, just these are all upgrades you can make too, like burning damage, Ignite Proliferation, level 21, 23. It's very cheap this league. Awaken Unbound Elements, Awaken Deadly Alignments, and Anonymous Combustion. So I pretty much want to run Anonymous because it gives you the Ignite from support, deal damage 5% faster. But like all the Awakening Gems right now are actually very cheap. I think I got all 3 of these for under 3x. So that's pretty nice. So let's talk about the rings real fast. So you do want magic rings due to having the helmet. So you definitely do not need a Knights you deal 10% or deal 10% faster. Well, between 7 and 8, 10 actually. These are stupid expensive. You're probably looking at around 10x. Yeah, so they go between ideally you're looking at 8 to 12x for these rings. I bought this one with nothing. Well, I had to pretty much craft it myself for like 8x. And I bought this one for 4x. I sniped pretty well last night somehow. But the rings are just extra damage. That's all they do. Do you need the rings? No. If you don't have these rings, what you can use, what I was using before, is you can use a Vermilion ring instead. Just for more life. You lose a little bit of damage, but you get more quality of life. You get more life on top of it. You can just run 2 of those instead and just upgrade to these in the future. Because I've seen these rings going anywhere from 5 exalts to 15 exalts. So it's very random what price you're going to pay for these. And then with those rings, all you pretty much want to do if you want either one is pretty much spam it until you get T1 max life. And then I got lucky on both of these and I null off the second item it had attached to it. And I crafted this max frenzy on both of them. Just for more attack speed, cast speed, pretty much. And I just put Scour Towers on there for more range, just because I want to do blight maps. That's the one I like the most. Boots. These boots need to get fixed. They're not the best in slot. But pretty much, like, two-tone's nice. If you don't need the resistance from the two-tones. Which I might not. I need... Yeah, like, for me... I can actually drop the two-tone on there and get the new boots, those Chaos boots. Since I actually would just barely hit the marker. But on those boots, like if I was going to get new ones, I would want to get like T1 life, whatever resistance you need to fix your build, Chaos resistance, movement speed, actually on there instead of doing it like this. Because like this, we're super slow. If you get that 30% movement speed, you'll be zooming. It's just to get the boots. They're not cheap. That's why I found these for like 1x. Just so I just bought them just to have boots on my build. At least had Chaos Res. Fix my resist. Triple Res pretty much with life. Like what I would do with these is get rid of that movement speed. Try to hit Azaline to get her version of that for a higher chance. Like the boots, it's just about Molten Shell. Quality if you can. Quality gets expensive. So until you get the quality, just get a regular one. Anonymous Flame Dash, you don't need Anonymous. It's just more distance. Increased duration. And then second wind. Increased duration is mainly for your Molten Shell. Is all it's for, pretty much. And then second wind is pretty much for your Anonymous Flame Dash. Because I don't think second wind works on this. Okay, it says it does, so we'll see. But I think it's just for the cooldown recovery rate. But like if you can also, instead of this one, get one of the other ones that gives you an extra +1 cooldown if you want like more flame dashes. But I think the regular one works just fine. Belt is pretty much life, reduced flash charge use, chaos res, resistance, mana. It's pretty much just a fixer spot. And then I put damage because I couldn't find anything else to put on there. The Jewel is pretty much life, chance to grant phasing, Spell block if we were dealt damage recently, so it's an extra 4% on top of that. Gloves are not, these are not the best in slot gloves. You actually want armor-based stacking glove. Anything with armor on it would be the best in slot. At the time when I bought these, I had no currency, and this was the only glove I can find. But you pretty much want at least over 50 dex on this, just because dex is your biggest problem, and this is probably the best slot to fix your dex is going to be the gloves. And then it's just life, chaos res, whatever you need on them pretty much. These gloves I need to get better, because like I can craft armor on them, but if I had the actual gloves, so I probably end up switching this into a strength version when I get more currency. And it's just my portal. Temp change with blasphemy, just because like that's your damage combo. And a vitality gem just for more regen. Do you need the vitality? No. Level this as you can, pretty much. And then also, something else to say, but flasks, it's pretty much your usual bubbling and stodging for blood, for your bleed immune. Your iron skin for more armor to put you at max fizz mitigation or 70 something %. Enduring mana. Mine just has an open prefix. I don't know suffix. I mean, because I don't know what I want on it yet. But it's pretty much just to help with your mana. Cinderwell is pretty much for enemies ignite by you. Take more damage, so you do more damage. You also recharge 1 when you consume, which you don't do. So it also gives you movement speed. So you pretty much run the movement speed Cinderwell Flask, which is really cheap this league. And then your Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline like everyone runs. So I think that's everything on there. Oh, bandits I killed all. And then I'm taking Brine King just because I don't like being stunned. And I think I'm taking this one just for more life and flasks. And then life flasks recharge also. But I might change it up to something else. But for now, it's just there. But like I might go with like this one from a movement speed, which I do like a lot of builds. So a lot of stuff I got to play with. So let's do a map showcase real fast. This is a T15 map. Mapping is real easy. Ultimatums I've done. Simulacrums are a little bit struggle. Because we would pretty much curse. Hit them, and then their health just falls. We can do this one too. Because we just curse. So our Blasphemy gives them the curse you can see on them right now. And then we Ignite, and we kill them all at once. Like every time they're going in there, see like kill themselves now. Like that's the whole point of the build. For me, the build feels 100% like you're playing ED Contagion. Pretty much. Like you wait, damage over time. They're pretty much all close to the same. Like once we get that cluster jewel in, we should be able to one tap these so fast. The one thing right now is keep using flash, which I'm really bad at. Yeah, we just hit him once, and like everything just dies on its own so fast. And that's all the build really does. Just keep using our flash. Run in circles, keep hitting this. And we just keep running in circles. Like you can see how fast the flask fell back up due to having the alchemist on there. So the alchemist is a big quality of life. Is it needed? No. It just helps so much. Like for now, I use the flammability just for more damage on rares because I don't have a lot of damage yet for rares. But like it makes ultimatum super easy because you just hit the middle once, and everything just keeps killing themselves when they go in the middle. And then we just loot. So this is definitely an ultimatum build, which I did want. But think once we did the like, see, I just run around. That's the blasphemy with the temp chains working, and then I just hit them once, and poof. So you can see like how they're glowing. That means it's active. So that's 400% more damage when I do this now. So like if you just curse them once, wait like when you cast them 1 second, and then boom, everything goes. So pretty much you do need to wait 1 second when you curse, but for mapping, you really don't need to use, you just pretty much run around and do this. If like bossing, this is where it struggles a little bit. We have to curse, wait. Okay, the boss should stay with you, you know. And then we just wait, and the boss should be... We can find the boss. Oh. We wait, and then we hit, and then that should be... Okay, this boss is annoying. This is not the best boss to choose. But yeah, boss damage is still not there yet with this build. I mean, it's definitely can do everything, no problem. It's just we're still missing a lot of damage. But the build is actually a lot of fun. And definitely the upgrades I can see to this build. Like, we still need the Watcher's Eye for, like, Determination gives you more armor, and Malevolence, either option. Either deal more damage faster or more damage overall over time. But those are about 14 exalts each. For each version, so I don't have the currency to buy those right now. And like getting the catalyst for life on the amulet, the rings, is very expensive, so I'm not. That's more a future upgrade also. But we'll definitely bring another video once I get the cluster jewel in. I'm not level 80, I'm more in the 90s. Where I can start doing more stuff. Like that's when we'll start showing more of the. Yeah, that's what I needed. I can show actually if this is a pretend boss fight. It is. So, on this 10 boss fights I've done on this build, they are extremely difficult just because it's a lot of stuff going on once with this build still. But, pretty much this is the build overall so far. I'll bring another update to this build when we get to higher level and we get the cluster in so we can start seeing like more what it does. If I can fix the boots and the gloves, what I'm going to try to do with this build also. To run the Chaos version of two-tone boots. But that's pretty much it for this build right now. I haven't done Cyrus yet. I haven't done any endgame bosses yet. I just got to level 80 on stream last night. And pretty much I'm going to probably end up doing contracts right now. Like I'm going to try doing the Conqueror. I did the Green Conqueror. It was pretty easy. I'm going to try these two, which are a lot harder. And then I'll probably just start contracts, level up, and then we'll come back and make the next video. And this character should be my project character, which I'm trying to save up money for now. So I'm like 3 at 3. I'm like 5x right now. So I got a long way to go if I can start my projects. So if everyone liked the video, please subscribe down below. Come follow me on Twitch. And if you played this build or any questions, put them in the description below and I'll try to answer what best I can. And hope everyone liked the video. Hope to see you on the next one.